So this is one of your topic that you have to do for the Management for Engineers course, which is one of the course, compulsory course for everyone. So the topic is Data to Decision Analysis of IoT-based MIS implementation in manufacturing, right? So as management for engineers, right? So far, I hope you already learned about what is the meaning of management, and as an engineer, what are the things that you have to follow, and then some theoretical stuffs, transportation, mathematics also involved in this sort of management stuff. And also, not only as engineers, right? Not only as engineers, and even our day-to-day life also, if you can manage your day-to-day life, if you can plan that, of course, you will be able to end up with achieving your day-to-day life goals, right? For an example, not day-to-day life, let's take manage. If you're uh, recently you had your Cat 1 examination, right? Recently you had that. So if you hadn't plan with starting from the beginning of the course, let's say you registered for 4 courses, right? You registered for 4 courses, and then within month you have to submit your assignments, and then in next 2 weeks of time, then you have your CAT examinations, right? So if you plan that well, managing your courses, okay, I have to do 4 assignments and submission date is all 4 courses. Of course, let's say June 30 or something. And then if you plan it, this course assignment, I will go through the uh, resources and I will learn what are the things that I have to learn as a beginner for the course. Then you are taking 1 week to do that, and then you can complete your assignment. Likewise, week by week, you can plan that. You are managing your assignment stuff within a month. And then next 2 weeks of time, you have free time. If you plan it well, of course, you can meet the deadlines. That's the management of your own work, right? And then 2 weeks you have, and then you are planning how you have the schedule of your timetable or of your CAT examination. And then what you can do, you just take a look 4 courses, how those 4 courses set according to the dates and time. And then you can manage, you can plan those 2 weeks to study. You can do then end of the week, 2-3 days you can take, and then you can just try out some test papers, right? So likewise, management is not just a kind of a thing that you don't know. Of course, management is something you already know, planning and management. And as an engineers, when it comes to this manufacturing, right? So I know we have here maybe electrical engineering, civil engineering, mechatronics, mechanical, and also computer engineering. A lot of people we have here. But almost all the cases in manufacturing case, of course, we need, right? All the engineering specifications, of course, maybe these manufacturing plants, you may have to involve it, right? Especially, we can say mechatronics and computer engineering, mechanical students and electronic students. Of course, manufacturing is nothing but that is coming from your side, right? So this topic is nothing but you are going to analyze data and then you take decision. Analyze data, take decision, and then you are understanding how IoT transform raw data. The meaning of raw data means raw. It may be for the manufacturing, it may be a raw material, it may be if the computer stuff you are implementing a software, then it may be data, raw data, what are the parameters you need. It may be anything. So those raw data, out of that, using this technological evolution, we have different technologies out there, and then using those stuff, now manufacturing processes also getting developed, right? So in here, what you are going to do is you are going to do a case study in order to identify those things. And with the help of current development of the technologies, how those things affect for the manufacturing sector, and then how they using those technologies, how they are going to do the management stuff. Basically, that's the idea. So if I go through this, this was, I think, the topic. I don't know which number of this topic. I don't know. Anyway, one of the topic that you have to do. Not everyone. I think there are different types of topics already given to you. What you have to do on the management course. You can select any topic that you feel you can do and that you feel fit for your particular specification, right? Then what you can do some steps are there that you have to follow. So I will explain that later. So this is your question. I hope you already have seen this topic, right? Am I correct? So if so, I want you to answer me, right? What is IoT? Let's just simplify these things one by one. What is the meaning of IoT? One of the technology. I refers to what, O refers to what, and T refers to what? Internet of Things, of course. Internet of Things. What is the meaning of that? Internet of Things. So, for an example, you have a system consisting of different kind of sensor inputs, and then you are processing it, and then you are taking the outputs, and then you are going to actuate something, and then everything will be connected to internet in order to do the other decision making part, right? So simply that. So through the internet, you can control that one. You can see what is happening there. And before that, before coming this IoT, of course, what is happening, we don't know. Sensors, of course, it was there. And actuators also, it was there. But that communication, we cannot see what is happening. But now, through the IoT environment, that platform, using that, of course, you can do several stuff. You can see things, right? And then MIS. What is the meaning of MIS?
Management Information System.
Yes, Management Information System. So the topic, if you just, if we expand this one, it is about data into decision analysis of Internet of Things basic, the base part of your manufacturing plant, right? Based on the IoT development, implementation of IoT something, right? Based management information system implementation in manufacturing, right? That's what you are going to do. And basically, in here, for this particular topic, you will be learning a special paradigm, or you can say a special concept called DIKW. Data, information, knowledge, and wisdom. You know, there are different types of management processors or concepts or the paradigms are there, right? SWOT analysis, right? And then Kanban analysis, where you can apply for some to simplification, and 5S. That's also kind of a management stuff, right? And in here, we are talking about data and we are talking about the input and output, right? So in here, what we are going to do is we are talking about data, information, knowledge, and wisdom, right? So these are the 4 categories that you are going to focus on, right? Now let's see. That's the overview of project. Now let's understand what is going on, right? So first of all, you have to focus something. What you are going to focus is smart manufacturing with IoT implementation. Now tell me, what is the meaning of smart? What is the meaning of smart? Even for people, we say, oh, that's a smart kid. Or your mobile phone, we tell it as, oh, this is a smart mobile phone. And now here we are talking about smart manufacturing. And then when it comes to this electrical engineering student, you heard this word microgrid and then smart grid. So what is the meaning of smart? Any idea? Meaning of smart? Let's take, that depends on the scenario, I know. So let's take this in the manufacturing case. What is the meaning of smart?
We can say, madam, it's like sensing the environment and understanding the stuff.
Yes, of course. So manufacturing. Now let's a smart case. Manufacturing means, of course, you are going to produce something. There's a production line, right? That's manufacturing means. So smart means, so the before coming to the smart, technological development and implementation come into play. Before that, what happened? Everything is controlled and working manual and with the help of human, right? That's how it worked. But now, because of this development of, let's say, different, of course, implementations are there, technologies are there. Specifically, we are talking about IoT here, right? Nothing but simple thing that you already know. Everybody knows, I know. So in this case, so let's take the manufacturing process. Of course, you know, even you are doing final year project, most of the students, they are trying to say that, of course, time is taking, this is costly. For a particular stage of a manufacturing process, there are 20 people are there working. And if I automate this one, I can reduce this much of time, right? Therefore, I'm going to develop a system like this, right? So what is actually doing is you are going to adding something called smart, right? So even though, of course, we cannot replace for each and every particular scenarios, we cannot replace human. Remember that as well. Not everything, but some cases, of course, we can add technology, right? So because some of the stuff, you know, it's prone to human error. So therefore, we have to avoid that one. So that's why these machinery cases come into play, automation and everything. So smart means then it's not just a regular manufacturing, but everything in under one umbrella you can see, and then you can control, and then you can make decisions. That's what we are calling smart in manufacturing, right? So you have to focus on manufacturing plant that implemented with IoT, right? And then basically what you are going to do is manufacturing raw data. Starting point of any manufacturing system process is there's a raw data. So, okay, it may be a raw material or whatever. Raw means starting point, right? So you are doing some sort of a process, and then you can finally have the meaningful outcome. That's what we are doing now. Now let's say you are manufacturing or you are producing pots, right? So the clay is the raw material. Clay is there, but if you are not doing anything to that clay, you cannot see anything, right? You cannot take out of that. So what you are going to do, you are basically following some steps, some process in order to form different type of shapes out of that clay, right? So after that, that particular the parameter, then one parameter is there, so clay. But it's not going to work using only the raw data. In order to manufacture your pot, different shapes, different colors, whatever, what you have to do, you have to gather other data. You have to have some other parameters. You have to balance that. What is that? You have clay. You need, of course, water, right? In up to certain level, and also this clay also there's a specific thickness and all sort of things are there. So you have to, and also this moisture, those things you have to maintain, right? Data. And then finally, if you're adding some colors to that, and then you need colors, different colors. And if you are going to do some artifacts if you are going to add like some arts or something, then you need some other stuff. And then finally, you have your final outcome, right? So within that process, starting point to end point, clay to your pot, right? So what are the strategic management decisions that has been taken, right? Not all just, even though even this, entrepreneurs also, not only just huge type of manufacturing plants, but also tiny little entrepreneurs also, they are managing. That's why they are successful in their particular product, right? So you have to think. You have to do some literature in order to understand this one. And then after you can go for a finding out a particular place. And then after step by step, you can do this one, right? That's how it works. And then the next one is the framework that you are going to check, the paradigm that you are going to check, that is DIKW, right? So before that, I wanted to show this one actually.
Excuse me,
So,
ma'am.
yeah,
Ma'am, I have a doubt. When
yeah,
it's come to the focus area, it's only like a management decision based, like reduce the cost and improve the efficiency such thing, or the
yeah.
improve the product manufacturing process.
Sorry.
No, I mean, what kind of focus area we are mostly focused on should like reduce the cost and such a thing, a
I will,
financial cost.
later it is coming. I will tell you,
Okay. Okay.
right? Right. So here you can see there's a picture, right? So it is consisting of different types of technology to get on board with your particular manufacturing process, right? So here IoT, of course, it is consisting of inputs, always sensors, right? Sensor network is there. And then here in this particular scenario, for the supply chain management, they has been using IoT and sensors. Maybe the smart packaging in the sense, of course, IoT, of course, you can use, right? And then here, wearables, of course, now it is very much popular in nowadays, and computer vision, of course, if you, let's take for an example, Piramal Glass, Sri Lanka, one and only manufacturing plant we have that who are manufacturing glass containers or glass bottles. Every type of glass bottles, of course, Piramal Glass is the one who manufacturing it in Sri Lanka. So if you just have time to just go there and visit there, you can see how they're doing the inspection of defective glass containers. Even though manufacture, you are producing something, there may have contained some of the defects, right? So they are using this computer vision, machine vision, right? So visionary based system they are using in order to identify that, right? So the different technologies are there. So management is not only reducing the cost, right? Not only just managing the time, but also improving the efficiency, optimizing the process. Everything is coming under the management, right? Not only cash. You are not only the kind of, in order to, if you want to manage the revenue well, right? Manage the revenue well, you have to manage everything, not only the basic things that you so-called management. Remember that, right? Even you manage the process that can reduce the cost, right? Let's, for an example, as I mentioned you, so there are 20 people who are doing some sort of this supply chain management case here, supply chain area. There are some people, but using, let's say, some sort of a automated mechanism is there. Time saving, then electricity bill, maybe you can save. Of course, again, what you are going to do, you are saving money, right? Likewise, there are several cases, of course, you can manage, and that can proportionally can impact to your revenue. So that through the management, you are going to do this. When, let's say for a manufacturing industry, of course, your targeting point is not the service, but the revenue, right? That's the, even though for a service you are manufacturing something, but that particular plant is there, basically that's, they are trying to earn revenue, right? Increase their revenue. So management is not only just a thing that you are already talking about, but these stuff also you need to manage. That's why this particular topic has been given. That's why maybe you are just talking about, because most of the topics looks like soft analysis. This is the scenario, apply this after applying soft analysis, how the things are going on. That's the basic things that you already know. And then 5S, what is happening? And if the Kanban or whatever the process, lean manufacturing or those things, what is happening? So not only that, this is also nowadays popular thing, right? So you are in the new generation, now you have to know these things as well. So remember that as well, right? So the next part, data, information, knowledge and wisdom. Let's see what is the meaning of this. So the 4 key points are data, information, knowledge and wisdom. So let's take a brief example, right? So the data means, of course, your raw data. It processed unprocessed data before processing. As I mentioned, I have given an example using pots. Clay is your raw data, it's unprocessed. After processing, of course, you can have your pot. So the manufacturing example, so in order to, let's say, for a particular case, you have sensors in order to check the temperature and the vibration, those things. Let's say for the pot example, so you have this, of course, you need to control the temperature, you need to have sufficient amount of water, time to time, those things you need to know, you need to have. So let's say you are going to use IoT system, you are going to implement in order to sense those things, right? So the information is, data is your raw part, information means your process data, right? So the process data how's coming? Machine operating above normal temperature. So this is the, in this particular example, this is talking about the temperature and the vibration. And if you are talking about the temperature, the machine is operating above the normal temperature. So it is maintaining something. And knowledge means using the information, you are combining experience in order to what? Information is raw data is there, you are sensing something, and then information you have, if it is going in the normal process, this is the temperature above or below, you have to maintain that one. And then within your experiences, what you can see, if there are so high temperature indications are going on, okay, you can say vibration, it is, for this particular example, it is impact for the bearing failure. There the vibration also going wrong, right? And the wisdom means knowledge applying for the decision making, right? So that's why we have preventive maintenance, right? So if you are just those who already completed or those who already going your training, of course, most of the students, I think some of the, let's say mechanical students, most of the time they are going for preventive maintenance section, right? So wisdom means using that knowledge, right? You applied your experience, okay, this is not going to work if the temperature is high. We have to do something, right? So the wisdom means knowledge applied for decision making. Now you are going, what you are going to do? You are scheduling preventive maintenance activity. So there's a particular milling machine. Let's say for an example, there's a particular milling machine is there. So time to time, 3 months of period maybe according to your data, what you data and then information, then you can plan it. This is how preventive maintenance schedule should be. And then of course it will avoid downtime. Those who are already in training places or your employment, those somewhat connected with this manufacturing case, of course, you can understand, I think, what I'm talking about, right? So don't worry. So if you feel like manufacturing process, those who are just not that much familiar with, of course, there are plenty of topics are given there. You can just select that one, right? Don't worry about that, because for this mini project, no need to do each and every topic. What you have to do is just get familiarized with the topic and then just think whether you can do this one, and then of course you can start, right? I think in the October or end or mid, I think you have to submit your reports and your presentations will be going on as well. So you have about 2 months to do this one. Basically 1 month, because you have in September, you have your CAT examinations as well. Therefore, roughly you have 5 weeks to do this one. So you have to hurry, right? So your task is to trace this transformation process. Who is going to transform data into information? This transformation process in your chosen manufacturing case study. You have to select a plant or manufacturing process, whatever you have to select. And then using that particular manufacturing process or plant, there you can apply your case study. Right? Now let's see actually how we are going to do that. Right? How to do. So first of all, what you are going to do, you are finding real world application, not hypothetical ones, right? Remember, you have to select manufacturing process or plant. First of all, plant, of course, there's a manufacturing process is going there. Anyway, It doesn't matter small scale or big scale or whatever. Anyway, everybody doing the management part, right? So what you are going to do is you are finding particular place where you can apply this one. Real world application, of course, with the names of the companies, organization, or the particular manufacturing product, everything you have to mention, right? This is how things are going on, right? So first you have to have this manufacturing process, diagrams of this is how the manufacturing process is going on. And then here this preventive maintenance. So no need on everything. Maybe you can just use one particular stage of the manufacturing process where they use this IoT data, and then though using those IoT data and information, how they are going to control and do the management. That's what you have to do. A whole process you are first explain, and then after one particular process, so of course you can use one particular stage of the whole manufacturing process. It doesn't matter, right? So then after finding particular process, you can find out what are the IoT sensors and actuators they have been used. And then documentation, data, collecting those things, and evidence of management decision-making processes, and measurable operation outcomes, and sufficient information for the analysis. So the analysis, of course, you have to do. So after I have these things identified, right? And then after you are going to analyze, of course, I found out these are the things, how they are doing, and how much of achievement they have been already achieved so far. Those things, of course, you can tell, right? And also you can, after analysis part, of course, maybe you can suggest some your own decisions as well. If they apply this part for particularly, of course, they can improve their process as well. Of course, you can do that one, right? That's what we are expecting you to do for this case study. So this case study, first of all, what you have to do is you have to do some findings. There are different ways how you can do that one, especially these two. 3, of course, if you are not too much familiarized with this manufacturing simulation software, but you can ask from them to give them about the simulation software that they are using, right? You can just go through those stuff and you can take those things for your analysis. So, of course, publish case studies, this literature review through the academic journals. Inside the industry, of course, they have some documentations called reports, right? And then blueprints are there. I know some of the cases you cannot that much access, but maybe through the second part, company visits or the interviews, you can grab those things. First part. Academic journals, of course, you can find out from the internet. But the problem is how to access these industry documentations and stuff. Then what you can do some interviewing people. You can have a questionnaire, right? You can conduct a questionnaire and then you can gather data, how the things are going on. So you have to have a particular, it may be just a paper that you are giving to your selected people in the manufacturing plant, and then you are giving those papers, and it may be Sinhala or English, it doesn't matter. Overall analysis you can have in English for the presenting part, right? But from the beginning, so maybe there's a language problems. Then of course you can use not only the English, or else you can, by asking, you can fill that one. So you have all your questionnaire using English only. Then what you can do, you are interviewing people and then you are asking their ideas and then you write it down. That's also going to work. Or maybe Google Forms also you can use. Or maybe just face-to-face interviews. Through the interviews, I found these things. And then you can ask, they may have some graphs, right? The illustrations of graphs, the way how they are time to time, the way how their manufacturing process and the revenues are fluctuating, those things, of course, you can use. You can ask, right? Even though those are even most of the time they're publicly available, right? So that is how you gather data, right? And then after gathering your data, so what you can do, these are the technical data that you need, and management information, MIS. So how they do the decision making process, and key performance indicators. Key performance indicators mean DIKW, how that part is going to play inside this management information system for the making of decisions. And then reporting structures, and then what are the strategies they are using for the planning the work. What are the integrated strategies they have, you can find out. And then how about the operational impact? How much of efficiency, how much of optimization they improved, the reach, how much they achieved, of course, you can find out. Did this reduce the cost? You have this before that, how the particular process going on. Of course, you implemented IoT there, and now you have the monitoring using your mobile phone. You can see everything, and of course, even use, because everything connected to internet, of course, you can even control it using not only teach pendant, but also using your mobile phone as a teach pendant, right? So you can see whether the cost reduction has happened or not. How much of cost reduced after using that particular process, right? How the quality improved inside that particular process, right? How their maintenance are going on, right? Those are the operational impacts, how it comes. So what you are going to do, you are comparing before that and after that. After applying before the scenario, how the process is going on, and applying specifically, we are talking about here IoT, then particular stage, particular process. After applying IoT, what are these operational impacts work? And then strategic benefit. After, so strategy means, of course, different alternative that you already used in order to do the same particular work, right? So for an example, for the manufacturing process, so let's take one particular process. Before the IoT come into play, that's a past strategy that you have used, past way of solving the problem. And then IoT has come into play. That is your new strategy. So what are the benefits you can have after using this particular strategy? So you can find out that. And then you can ask them, how about your future planning? Maybe they may be, okay, IoT is best. We are going to apply that for this particular stage as well. For the moment, we are using IoT only for the defective analysis process, right? Then we are going to apply this one into, as a future planning, we are going to, this is good. We are going to apply this one in your storage purposes. Storing part, we are going to apply this one. Maybe that your management staff, they may be going to tell you that's the 4. So that is not going to work unless you are going there and ask, right? You have to do some, not only the literature like using papers, but you have to visit. each and every topic, of course, you have to visit and do the questionnaires, and then out of that you can do the analysis part, right? That's how it is going to work, right? So here, innovation capabilities, what are those? Market responsiveness, of course, you can find out. Strategic benefits. Alternative solutions are there. Those solutions we call strategies here. So our one strategy is this applying IoT and then how it beneficial to your whole process. That's what you are going to find out, right? And then your report should include, finally, what you are going to do, everything you have done, you have to do the reporting. Documentation, of course, you have to have. So for the documentations, visual elements, it should have critical analysis you have to have here. SWOT analysis, strength and weaknesses, you have to identify through that one, right? Strengths, before that, now what are the strengths? And weaknesses, of course, may be there for the IoT implementation also. Weaknesses may be there. Let's say sensors are getting most of the time they may say this particular sensor most of the time it is getting burned or something. So that's a weakness, right? If the human is involved in this one, they may say this is better, right? So not only the management staff, but some other workers also you have to interview, because not only the management staff, some of the process and the weaknesses, strengths, that comparison can be given by the actual workers or the laborers in that particular area, right? Therefore, you have to interview those people as well. Not only top level, but also lower level as well, right? And also these evidences, of course, you have to mention. So don't just think about these words, right? Quantitative and qualitative, I think you already know what is the meaning of quantitative and qualitative. Quantitatives coming on the numbers, qualitative coming on the qualities, right? Some particular qualities. So, of course, for this particular each and every topic, I think you have to have qualitative and quantitative measurements you have to see, right? And who are the stakeholders? Stakeholder perspectives. Perspectives means vision and opinions, right? Stakeholder means, any idea what is the meaning of stakeholder?
It's kind of parties, I mean, people who engage in the business entities.
Yes, exactly. So stakeholders means, so the particular scenario, who are the people interact with that particular process, right? So computer engineering students, of course, when you are developing a software and everything, there are different types of stakeholders, not only just a customer who is asking you to, I want this particular software, but also government may be come into play, right? And also the customer who is asking you the software. But not only that, stakeholders are his customers as well. Which means, let's say, Fashion Bug is your particular, let's say, organization, that there's an organization called Fashion Bug, where we sell attire. And then stakeholders are software basics, let's say. For the billing purposes, you need a software, some improved software. Then who are the stakeholders there? First of all, the fashion bug management, or the, let's say, fashion bug owner is just observing how people are, their customers are coming and mostly buying attire, clothes, you can identify, and then how they do the billing part, right? Payments, how they do those things, you are going to observe and then those are your customers. Those are also your stakeholder inside your software. Because finally, not only owner, maybe some implementation may be using your own customers as well. And then developers in the sense, the software company people also your stakeholders. So let's say there's impact through for the environment or government or whatever. So those are also lower level stakeholders of your particular process, right? So you have to get familiarized with those words as well, right? And then industry benchmark. So what is the meaning of benchmark? Marking benches. Is that?
It's kind of standard and qualities that we accept.
Yes, so those are the standards or regulations that have to follow up, benchmark. Even so, for a, let's say for a academic level, we are providing you some courses or the program, particular engineering program, and you have to have benchmark that with other existing ongoing program. And then you are identifying some differences, and then these things should be here, these things must be here, and then you are benchmarking. That's the idea of benchmarking when it comes to academic. So now you have to think, when it comes to industry, what is the meaning of benchmarking? And then professional insights. As engineering management students or the engineering students, how these engineering management principles are going to play in here. And then technological adoption, how it challenge to this conventional management processes or the principles. And then change management aspects. Can we change that one? Of course, you are going to change the management strategies, principles. Of course, you have these conventional principles, and those are already established principles, right? So out of that, what are the challenges that we have according to the technological development? Because those management principles that you are talking about established in a very past, right? About, let's say, 50 years ago, maybe, I don't know. So that much of very old, those things. So according to this revolution of today, according to your established principles that you already learning, now you can see what are the aspects that you can maybe develop, that maybe you can change. This need to be changed. You can identify those things. And then future scalability out of the today's or the present practices in manufacturing. So this is not only professional insights, of course, not only just focusing manufacturing, but also almost all the things coming under engineering. Of course, you have to think about that. So you have to think out of the box, not only think in the past things, but you have to focus on the ongoing and future development in the world, right? So that's the thing I wanted you to do, right? So your report should include then about the introduction, about your organization that you have selected, manufacturing plant or the production. This is how it's going on. This is the hierarchy of employment hierarchy. Of course, you can mention like in training in part also you are doing that one, right? And then after, what you can do, since we are talking about the manufacturing process, you can you can illustrate that one using a block diagram or maybe flow chart. Using block diagram, you are talking about that one. And then after, what you can do, each and every step, maybe they are not using IoT implementation. Of course, you can find out what particular stage they are using that one within that manufacturing process. right? And then identify that particular stage and then take it out and then explain about how the things are going on. These are the same. These are the parameters they need to focus on. In order to focus then parameters, they need to gather data. How they are going to gather data using these sensors. And then after sensing and those things, and those are the data, and then information. What are the information? Using the data and then knowledge. Using the information, adding experiences and everything, and then knowledge based, because you have to follow up with the DIKW process, right? You have to, one by one, you have to mention how that particular stage is working. You have to split that process into 4 categories, DIKW. And then after, of course, you can do the analysis part. And of course, you have to mention how did you conduct your literature. So these are the papers I have been used, of course, as the references. At the end of your report, of course, you can mention your references, academic articles, papers and conference papers, journals and everything. And you have to cite those things inside your text. Citation you have to have. And of course, then as an attachment annexure, of course, you can add your whole questionnaire, but inside the report, that part you can have the end of the report, but from the beginning of your report, of course, you can say, according to my analysis, this is the data size, or this is the number of people I interviewed. Out of these people, let's say it's 30, size is 30. 30 out of this much, people said, according to the question is based on you. That is, creating part is up to you. You can create that one. And then you, using charts, of course, you can add that charts to your particular report for the mentioning to demonstrate what is going on. And then after decision making, of course, you can have through the management principles and all sort of things. Of course, you can make the decisions, and then after you can even predict, or you can even suggest some future improvements as well. That is up to you. And then finally you can discuss then and now, right? Always remember then and now. In this particular topic, you have to do that one, then and now. And then find out strength and weaknesses before, and then strengths and weaknesses after that. That's how the management process is going on. Lastly, that's the final expected outcome out of the topic, right? So that's all I wanted to talk about under this particular topic. So the learning objectives of this particular topic: you can critically analyze the transformation process from data to wisdom in engineering management concept. And you can evaluate, you can assess the impact of management information systems in the organizational effectiveness. And of course, you can apply theoretical frameworks that you know to the real world manufacturing, not just any just examples that even hypothetical scenarios. But in here, for the mini project, what you are going to do, you can get the hands-on experience applying that to the real world manufacturing scenario. And not only that, finally, you can even develop professional level that you can do the documentation. That is also a part of the learning objectives, right? You can develop your own reports and also presentation. Not only the report for the case study, but also you have to present your mini case study or the mini project. You have to present that. So you have to have a good presentation, and step by step you can do the presentation and the report, the structure or the guide of the reports and the presentations, I think your academic coordinator of the course will be informed to you. Maybe in the LMS it is already there, I don't know. So the way how you prepare your reports and the presentations, that will be informed by your academic coordinator, right? So almost I think there are more than 5 topics are there for this particular course. Of course, you can follow up each and every session, right? Follow up each and every session and then find the best topic that you feel good enough to do, right? That's the way how you can do the mini project. Therefore, better to attend each and every session in order to understand what you have to do, right? That way you will be able to end up with finding a good topic that you can actually do, right? Okay, that's it. Any questions so far you want to discuss?
Yeah, hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am, when we pick a manufacturing environment, is it okay to pick any kind of is there a specific one to follow?
Yes, yes, any type of. That's why I mentioned that it may be small scale, big huge
Okay,
scale, whatever. It doesn't matter, right?
okay, okay.
So the what you have to focus on, finally, using applying DIKW, you can identify those processes. They don't know. I know they don't know maybe what is the meaning of DIKW. But through by observing that one, you will be able to understand how to map those things to those 4 words, right? So it doesn't matter the manufacturing process, the whoever, what is the organization, it doesn't matter. But one particular process, at least one particular stage of the whole process, they have to have IoT, right? Because we are talking about the technological implementation using IoT. Of course, I know there are other plenty of things.
Ma'am, one particular in the sense, if let's say the company have few more processes, we only have to fix one product or one process, isn't
If
it?
they are using, let's say, the manufacturing process is consisting of, let's say, 6 stages,
Yeah.
including the transportation, right? Starting from gathering the or the this data, raw material, and the ending is the transportation. That particular process is going with 6 stages, right? Maybe that particular manufacturing company, they have IoT based parts in 3 stages, like inspection process, in maybe packaging process, maybe they are using. So there are 2 particular things are there. If you feel you have to use both things, of course you can do. But if you feel, if you want to focus one particular process only, that is using IoT for one particular stage, it doesn't matter. You can use one particular case, right? Not all the processors, but you can focus on one particular thing because you need to have some time to do this one. So if you are focusing on almost everything, I know you don't have much time because you have about 5 weeks to do everything, right? Therefore, better to use one whole process take as one, and one particular part of that you can apply this everything. And then for the discussions and final decision making, you have to see in broader way, not that particular IoT part, but also that impact of that particular stage to the whole process. And then how will it effect to this cost effect for the efficiency or the optimization, maybe energy optimization or maybe process optimization, those things. So you have to think, right?
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So how about others? If you don't have any questions so far, of course, we can wind up the session.
Madam, when I check in the LMS, the submission total seems disabled. Is it okay, ma'am? The topic
Actually, I
submission?
am okay. Actually, I am not the coordinator of the course.
Okay.
I am just coordinating this particular